All right, this is day number 39. Let's get on over to Pro Tools and take a listen back. This one I actually really like, and I had a lot of fun in the writing and recording process of this. This was written by me, my friend Max Scott, my other friend Jacob Bauman. We all kind of pitched in and wrote this. I came home from work at like 8 p.m. driving back from Camarillo, and I live in the valley, so anybody who knows LA geography knows that's quite a drive to make at 8 o'clock at night. And I got back and I was like, I'm trying to lock in like right now. I want to write a song right now. So just sat down in the studio, and people were just hanging out, and I was like, hey, you want to play guitar on this? You want to play bass on this? And we just got it figured out. So drums programmed by me, some of the guitars played by me, other guitars played by my friend Max. Like you can see they're labeled like rhythm guitar, Max, if you notice. And I have to really give him credit for the way this rhythm structure works out. The drums admittedly were written after the fact. Like I kind of, filled this out after the track had been written. So we have like this weird 4 feel, 6 feel, like it's not an even chorus, but I liked it. I kind of went with it and how that went. And then my friend Jake on the bass, he just kind of naturally picked up the bass as Max and I were writing the other parts. And then I was like, hey, you want to plug that in and record it? And that's exactly what we did. I don't know if I can zoom in a little later here so you can see this a little better. And then what else? Kind of a typical song form, verse, chorus. The verses are interestingly twice as long as the choruses, but I think that works well for this structure, give a little more space. This is definitely one that would have vocals, so fill it out a little bit more. And then this transition to the chorus I'm like really, really, really proud of. I think it really sits well. Like it really hits you in the gut when that chorus drops, which I like. Of course, is like as a writer, that's kind of the moments that I want to really highlight are those things. Yeah. And then we're coming up on the bridge here. I don't know if I should speak too soon about the bridge. I'll let it hit first so you can listen to the structure here again. An important transition for me. So the bridge, I think I laid down like some very basic stuff. Like I had this part here, the rhythm guitar part, and then I was like, Max, I gotta go finish making dinner. Like I have not eaten. It's 10:30 at night. So I went to, I believe it was 11, it was even later. So I went to the kitchen to cook, and then he stayed in the studio and cooked, in a different sense, and kind of filled out the rest of this bridge with all these different guitar effects and the power chords and the lead guitar kind of going crazy with that tremolo thing. Really, really made it great. I think I really liked the way that it turned out, and it's all credit to him. I just kind of left and let him figure it out and finish the track in that sense. So yeah, it was very nice. I've always liked collaborating, especially with people who are friends, and especially in a very natural environment where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go step away, you finish this, I'll be right back, and then I come back and he's like, okay, now I have to go do something else, and it's like tag team almost. I really like the way that works. Okay, going over to the mix window, do some mix things, talk about some mix things. Addictive drums, of course. I think I did use some like preset beat, maybe not, because this is not one that I actually own. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was hand programmed by yours truly, clicked in, played in on the keyboard. I actually used a preset from one of my previous days. That's pretty funny. So I save all the presets for the things I do, and I think I just liked the way that sounded and kept it and modified it to make it work for this particular track. On the bass, we actually have 2 basses. I'm using Rock Rack to get that sound. There's one that's an octave lower and then one that's an octave higher. I'm going to switch over to the window here so you can see. Why won't this close? Can you close, please? Okay, there we go. Not sure why that wasn't closing. We have like a bass an octave higher during this point. That's, you can see the bass 8VA. So we get this like really interesting texture when we get to verse 2 of the bass is an octave apart. I don't remember whose idea that was, but when it came to actually doing it, we're all like, that sounds pretty sick. That sounds pretty unique. I don't know if I've ever done that before or since, really. So yeah, pretty like kind of a duplicate channel here with those 2 things. Rock Rack again on all the guitars. I really like Rock Rack a lot by Brainworx. I think I'm kind of using the same preset here. Yeah, not even changing the mic. Just, oh yeah, here we go. We get some mic changes here. Notice the recording chain a little bit different to give those parts a different sound. Going over to the power chords, definitely using the Rock Rack again, using another preset, getting it to crunch a little more. You can see on the one on the left side of the stereo field versus the one on the right side of the stereo field. You can see the pan there. I'm trying to move the window around so you can see the panning. That two different mics or two different recording chains, different settings on the amp, so we have a different sound on each side, and I'm sure they're also EQ differently because of that. And then this lead guitar, this kind of crazy thing that's going on, using Pan on that, bouncing around the stereo field kind of randomly, give it a like chaotic sense of moving around. I think it works really well for this bridge, just kind of breaking up because the rest of the track is pretty straightforward, but we have this kind of like energy for the bridge, which I really like. Using VerbSuite Classics as my guitar verb, as my drums verb, different presets, of course, different settings. Using the LX40 Essentials by Relab on my master verb, kind of like my catch-all stereo one. Love the way that works. And then the mastering chain, we got Black Box, we got the Shadow Mastering Compressor, we got Ozone to kind of crunch everything. And that is it. Back over to me. Thank you so much for watching. In the description is a link to a playlist for all the songs that I have written so far on this journey. Also in the description is a list of all the plugins, the software, the hardware, all the tools of the trade that I use to get this stuff done. So if you're curious, if you want to check out some of them yourself, it's all down there. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.